Designing for inheritance. As a major characteristic of object-oriented software, inheritance must be carefully considered during software design. A little thought about inheritance relationships can lead to a far better design, which is very important in the long term. Some of the inheritance issues that you should keep in mind during the program design stage include: every derivation should be an is-a relationship. The child should be a more specific version of the parent. Design a class hierarchy so that it can be reused in the future. As classes and objects are identified in the problem domain, find their common characteristics. Push common features as high in the class hierarchy as appropriate for consistency and ease of maintenance. Override methods as appropriate to tailor or change the functionality of a child. Add new variables to the child class as needed, but don't redefine any inherited variables. Allow each class to manage its own data. Use the super reference to invoke a parent's constructor and to call overridden versions of methods if appropriate. Use interfaces to create a class that serves multiple roles, simulating multiple inheritance. Design a class hierarchy to fit the needs of the application, with attention to how it may be useful in the future. Even if there are no current uses for them, override general methods such as toString and equals appropriately in child classes so that the inherited versions don't cause unintentional problems later. Use abstract classes to specify a common class interface for the concrete classes lower in the hierarchy. Use visibility modifiers carefully to provide the needed access in derived classes without violating encapsulation. Polymorphism. The term polymorphism means having many forms. A polymorphic reference is a reference variable that can refer to different types of objects at different times. The method invoked through a polymorphic reference can change from one time to the next. Take, for example, the obj.doIt method. If the reference obj is polymorphic, it can refer to different types of objects at different times. If that line of code is in a loop in a method that is called more than once, the line of code might call a different version of the doIt method each time it is invoked. And at some point, the computer has to execute the code to carry out a method invocation. This is called binding a method invocation to a method definition. Most of the time, binding happens at compile time. For polymorphic references, however, binding can't be done until runtime because which object is being referenced can change. This is referred to as late binding or dynamic binding. It is less efficient than binding at compile time because the decision must be made during the execution of the program. But the flexibility that a polymorphic reference gives us makes up for that. We can create a polymorphic reference in Java in two ways, using inheritance and using interfaces. References and inheritance. An object reference can refer to an object of its class or to an object of any class related to it by inheritance. For example, if the holiday class is used to derive a child class called Christmas, then a holiday reference could be used to point to a Christmas object. Assigning a predecessor object to an ancestor reference is considered to be a widening conversion and can be performed by a simple assignment. Assigning an ancestor object to a predecessor reference can be done also, but it is considered to be narrowing conversion and must be done with a cast. The widening conversion is the most useful of all. An object reference can be used to refer to an object. Polymorphism via inheritance. It is the type of the object being referenced, not the reference type, that determines which method is invoked. Suppose the holiday class has a method called celebrate, and the Christmas class overrides it. Now consider the following invocation. Day.celebrate. If day refers to a holiday object, it invokes the holiday version of celebrate. If it refers to a Christmas object, it invokes the Christmas version. Consider the following class hierarchy of staff member. The classes illustrated here represent kinds of employees of a company. Take a moment to study the hierarchy. The firm class contains a main driver that creates a staff of employees and invokes the payday method to pay them all. The program output includes information about each employee and how much each is paid, if anything. The staff class is an array of objects that represent individual employees. Note that the array is declared to hold staff member references, but it is actually filled with objects created from several other classes such as executive and employee. These classes are all descendants of the staff member class, so the assignments are valid. The payday method of the staff class scans through the list of employees, printing their information and invoking their pay method to determine how much each employee should be paid. The invocation of the pay method is polymorphic because each class has its own version of the pay method. The staff member class, not shown here, is abstract. It does not represent a particular type of employee and is not meant to be instantiated. Rather, it serves as the parent of all employee classes and contains information that applies to all employees. Each employee has a name, address, and phone number, so variables to store these values are declared in the staff member class. The staff member class also contains a toString method to return the information managed by the staff member class. It also contains an abstract method called pay, which takes no parameters and returns a value of type double. We can't define this method at the staff member level because each type of employee gets paid in a different way. The descendants of staff member each provide their own definition for pay. Because pay is abstract and class member, the payday method staff can polymorphically pay each employee. The volunteer class represents a person who does not get paid. We keep track only of a volunteer's basic information, which is passed into the constructor volunteer, which in turn passes it to the staff member constructor using the super reference. The pay method of volunteer simply returns a zero pay value. If pay had not been overridden, the volunteer would have been considered abstract and could not have been instantiated. As we've seen many times, a class name is used to declare the type of an object's reference variable. In the same way, an interface name can be used as a type of reference variable as well. An interface reference variable can be used to refer to any object of any class that implements that interface. An interface name can be used as a type of an object reference variable. For example, doable, OBJ. The OBJ reference can be used to point to any object of any class that implements the doable interface. The version of do this that the following line invokes depends on the type of object that OBJ is referencing. Designing for polymorphism. During the design phase, opportunities for polymorphic solutions should be identified. Use polymorphism when different types of objects perform the same type of behavior. Identifying polymorphic opportunities comes easier with experience.